Now let's cover DMs and everything about DMs. We're going to talk about why they're crucial, the benefits, the DMs in terms of building relationships, a 3-step method I like to use, how you can get responses, etc. And then we're going to look at some networking psychology too. So let's start things off by looking at why the DMs are so crucial. So a lot of people think that the DMs are just for selling to people. That's wrong. The DMs are so much more powerful than you think. They're your ultimate networking tool. So they're how you ultimately form relationships with people. Yes, you can make good friends with someone over the comment section, but those one-on-one sessions, talking to each other, are what will ultimately solidify that relationship. So there's nothing quite like the beginning of a relationship with someone who you've never met over the DMs. You get to completely know a new person who oftentimes has the same goals as you. But again, they go so much deeper than just talking to people. You can use them for feedback, to build trust, etc. The best way to network on X is through the DMs. I'm not lying when I say this. It's much better to have a solid network of people on X than it is to have followers. So here are the benefits. Personal touch. Unlike public tweets, DMs allow for that one-on-one conversation, which means it can foster more personal and meaningful connections. Networking. DMs offer an avenue to connect with industry leaders, influencers, peers, and potential clients and customers, which is also a great one. If you can talk to your potential clients before they even know what you do, or before they even see that you offer something, it's much better than them finding out first, because then you've built up that rapport with them and then they're like, oh, this person also does X, so let me ask what they do. Feedback. Directly reaching out to followers or potential customers, which can provide that invaluable insight and then building trust. So DMs can be a platform to resolve issues, answer questions, or provide support, which leads to that increased trust. So with DMs, you literally have the world at your disposal. What's great about the DMs is because so many influential people use X, they're all just a DM away. So you can literally message famous entrepreneurs, which are some of the brightest minds on the internet, literal geniuses. Okay, sometimes they don't respond, but still having that facility is so useful and advantageous. So take advantage of the following 2 types of people. So people doing what you want to do and people in front of you. So people doing what you want to do. Because of the plethora of users using X, there's 100% someone out there who's doing what you want to do in terms of goals. So take advantage and shoot them a message asking them for help. The worst thing they can do is ghost you or say no. But most of the time, you'll find that people on X, especially those succeeding, are nice. And then people in front of you, there's also a ton of people who aren't necessarily doing what you want to do, but they've got a ton of information and knowledge surrounding topics that you might need help with. So if someone's crushing it in the podcasting niche, for example, and you want to get into podcasting, throw them a message. Or if you need fitness help, throw the fitness guy a message, ask him for help. There's people of all areas in all industries on X, better than you and worse than you. So just get to know them and ask them for advice, and then give advice too. Now the DMs, they're for relationships. Again, so many people think that DMs are purely for selling. They're not, they're also for networking. That's the main reason you should be using them. So the general rule is, if you find someone you want to build a relationship with, follow them, comment on their stuff, and then hit them up in the DMs to solidify that relationship. Then you can talk to each other like normal, get on calls, potentially collab with them. That's exactly what happened with Wiz and I. So we hit each other up a few times before in the DMs, then we started working together, and then we decided to make this program together, all because we just started liking each other's stuff on the timeline. Now this is going to be the 3-step method that I personally use to build up relationships and become friends with a lot of people in the space now, especially Wiz. So number 1, you're going to follow. Number 2, you're going to engage. Number 3, you're going to DM. Following. First thing you want to do is obviously follow the person you want to build that relationship with. I can't tell you how many times people have told me that they love my content, but they don't even follow me. It just screams, I want free stuff, and well, liar pretty much. If you're telling me I love all your content and you don't even follow me, how? Number 2, engage. Then you want to start commenting on this stuff using advice from the engagement module. Not just once or twice, however, you want to write genuine comments for a good while so they can get used to you and have some conversations with you. And then you can build up that rapport, which leads to number 3, which is DM. After you've been engaging with the person for a good while, you can hit them up in the DMs and start the conversation with them. Ask them anything, talk to them, thank them, just go in without any expectations of something in return. All right, so now getting responses. A lot of people struggle with getting responses. So the best way to go into sending DMs to get responses is being 100% genuine and without expecting anything in return. So the less you want from someone and the more genuine you are, the more likely they'll reply. I respond most to the DMs that tell me how much they like my content or some genuine question about whatever topic. I don't respond to DMs that have fake compliments and then a series of questions, because they obviously don't mean the compliment. They just want something from me. So these are the top 3 ways now in the next slide. The top 3 ways that I used to use to get responses in the DMs. Number 1, appreciation. So begin by acknowledging their work, their recent achievements, or their content, something like that. Genuine compliments can pave the way for further conversations. Number 2 is value proposition. So share something with them that they might find interesting. It's not just about selling. It's not about, oh bro, I think you could benefit from my course or my service or this, whatever. It's about showcasing you've got mutual interests and then showing them some value, even if it's just free information. And then finish with an open-ended question. So finish with a question that invites a response, such as asking for their opinion on a topic or their experience with something relevant. That's what I used to do, and I used to get a ton of replies. Now let's look at networking psychology. So networking psychology is basically referring to the understanding and application of psychological principles and theories in the context of building and maintaining relationships. Now we can use some of these principles and methods to network effectively on X. So when we network, we're essentially building relationships. So understanding these underlying psychological dynamics can greatly improve the effectiveness and the quality of the interactions you have with random people or people that you look up to. So these are some of the key principles and aspects in networking psychology. I just picked the best 5. There's a ton, but I picked the best 5. The reciprocity principle. Very hard word to pronounce. Definition of this is people tend to want to return a favor when something is given to them. So this is how you're going to apply it to networking. Offer help, information, or resources without expecting anything immediately in return. And that can pave the way for future collabs or assistant and relationships. The law of similarity. Definition of this is people are more inclined to connect with others who share similar interests, value, or backgrounds. You can apply this by highlighting mutual interests, experience, or goals, which can establish a common ground and strengthen the bond. So if you're both in the web design niche, you can talk about a common problem that you hate in web design, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, I really hate this, blah, 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 and then you kick it off. You can do that with anything. Commitment and consistency. So once individuals make a choice or take a stand, they encounter personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. So ensuring consistency in your professional actions and promises, that can build trust in your network. The power of authenticity. So authenticity refers to being genuine and true to your beliefs, values, and your feelings. So authentic interactions as opposed to transactional and inauthentic ones are obviously more likely to foster deeper and more meaningful connections. Hence why I only answer people who I can tell are being genuine. And then the Ben Franklin effect. So the Ben Franklin effect means a person who does a favor for someone is more likely to do another favor for that person than they would be if they had received a favor from that person. So sometimes asking for small favors of like feedback can strengthen a connection, as the other person unconsciously justifies their helpful behavior by thinking more positively about you. So that's a good one to use. You just go in there, oh bro, can I get some feedback on this? If they read that tweet or that thread or whatever you post and they're like, oh, this is pretty good, they're going to be like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. That's the Ben Franklin effect.